we're looking into a picture going around online this month. It claims to show a screenshot of a 2002 episode of The Simpsons that eerily mirrors real-life events.
Don't tell the supervisor I have the flu.
That new prediction comes as new infections of COVID-19 are exploding nationwide.
Although it is one of the most well-known series in the United States, The Simpsons is also considered to be one of the most controversial shows. In addition to the wacky shenanigans that Homer Simpson and his family regularly engage in, the show has become increasingly famous as a trustworthy source of correct forecasts. Between the administration of Donald Trump and Lady Gaga's performance at the Super Bowl, we are able to see into the future thanks to the show, which has demonstrated its ability to see into the crystal ball. Can The Simpsons really be traveling into the future? Join us as we take you through the top 10 terrifying Simpsons predictions for the year 2024. Number 10. Trump 2024. Announcing his desire to run for President of the United States of America once more in 2024, former President Donald Trump made the announcement on November 8, 2022. Over the course of several months, there had been a lot of speculation leading up to this news, which was highly anticipated. Tonight, I am making the announcement that I am running for the presidency of the United States of America in order to restore the greatness and glory of the United States of America. These were the words that the millionaire businessman used to announce his ambitions to the whole business community. Moreover, the news quickly spread over the internet due to the fact that Trump is widely known to be a contentious figure in American politics. In spite of the fact that everyone was concentrating on the positives and negatives of a Trump administration, the producers of The Simpsons were quick to point out that the program had foreseen this move back in 2015. The producer of the show, Alabama Gene, was the one who made the discovery of the news, and promptly took to Twitter to publish a screenshot of the episode in which The Simpsons made a prediction that Donald Trump will be making a comeback in the year 2024. At this point, everything begins to take an interesting turn. Homer Simpson is shown in this particular episode, which is named Bart to the Future, as he looks to be falling from the sky. The words Trump 2024 were engraved into a campaign poster that was visible in the background of the visual. How were the writers and producers able to determine that Trump would be running for governor? Would you say that this is just another fortunate coincidence? Or do the creators of the show engage in experiments with dark magic in order to gain a look into the possible future? It is yet unknown what will happen. The fact that the episode was made available to the public before Trump was ever elected president is, however, the most bizarre aspect of this entire affair. The already perplexing circumstance is further complicated by the addition of this new layer of mystery. Nevertheless, it goes far beyond that. However, this was not the first time that there would be a prediction made by The Simpsons regarding the former president. In an even earlier episode from the year 2000, the show made a prediction that Donald Trump would one day become the most powerful person in the world and hold the top position in the nation that is considered to be the most powerful in the world. According to appearances, that was an absurd assertion. However, the controversial billionaire won the election for President of the United States of America in January of 2017. We are going to let you make the decision about that. What's the chance? Number 9. Colonizing Mars. It would appear that the Apple Vision Pro, Trump's aspirations to become president, and the occurrence of World War III are all very exciting forecasts. But the one that comes after that absolutely blows it out of the water. On March 13, 2016, the 16th episode of the 27th season of The Simpsons was broadcast. It was named The Marge Ian Chronicles, and it offered one of the most intriguing forecasts that the show has ever made in its history. During this episode, Homer Simpson and his family are presented with the opportunity to participate in a unique program that will allow them to go to the planet through space. All of the males were found to be quite useless for the research after they had endured a stimulated habit for a period of 1 week. One thing that they will never be able to take away from us is that freedom. In contrast, Lisa and Marge demonstrated that they have a high level of expertise, and as a result, they were able to advance to the final selection. Unfortunately, when it was time for liftoff, the engines failed to ignite, and it was later found that the project as a whole had been fraudulent from the very beginnings. To be honest, it is not a rocket. We are looking at the exterior of a real rocket. It was our intention to construct an actual rocket. On the other hand, the plot took an unexpected turn when Marge and Lisa successfully traveled to Mars, despite the fact that this would not take place until the year 2051. How exactly does this connect to the world we live in? At this point, Elon Musk enters the picture. The fact that the CEO of SpaceX is currently on a mission to populate Mars and turn the habitable red planet into our second home is not information that is currently considered newsworthy. On the other hand, the majority of people are unaware of the fact that Musk disclosed his intentions to launch the first crewed expedition to Mars in the year 2020. The CEO of Axel Springer SE, a German media firm, Matthias Daffner, conducted an interview with Elon Musk in December. During the course of the conversation, Musk expressed his high level of confidence that SpaceX would successfully send people to Mars in the year 2026. On the other hand, if they were to be lucky, it may happen as early as the year 2024. Regrettably, SpaceX did not actually get lucky in that regard. In 2023, Musk disclosed that those who are interested in visiting Mars could have to wait a little bit longer to do so, as it could take an additional 3 to 4 years before the goal of visiting the red planet would become a reality. In addition, he disclosed that the construction of his new Starship rocket might bring the possibility of living on Mars to the forefront of our technological capabilities. Imagine being able to make reservations for an interplanetary voyage from our planet, which is green, to locations that are billions of light years away. It has the potential to be the single most monumental accomplishment in the history of humanity. Who will know? There is a possibility that by the year 2051, there may be more cities on Mars than anyone can count. When that time comes, at the very least, the Simpsons will be able to say, "We have told you so." Number 8. Apple Vision Pro. There have been 760 episodes of The Simpsons that have been released over the period of 34 years, making it the animated show that has been running the longest in the United States history. Nevertheless, this is not the only reason why the show is so well known. Over the course of their existence, The Simpsons have proven themselves to be a reliable source of predictive information on the future. As a result of the launch of Apple's innovative new product, the Apple Vision Pro 8, The Simpsons was able to achieve yet another victory in the early hours of the year 2024. After a considerable amount of time, the corporation had been making fun of this brand new product. And on February 2, 2024, the Vision Pro was finally made available to the general public. Since then, it has become the most popular thing in the world. This brand new virtual reality headgear gives users the opportunity to experience a wide variety of hyper-realistic virtual reality (VR) experiences, ranging from a concert by Alicia Keys to a rhino charging at them. To what extent, however, is this the very first time that this product has been presented to the entire world? I don't know. An episode of The Simpsons titled Friends and Family was made available to the public in the year 2016. During the prophetic scenes that took place, Mr. Burns recruited Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie to portray his live-in virtual reality family. This was done as a test run for a new headgear that had a striking resemblance to the Vision Pro. Springfield, on the other hand, descended into anarchy as soon as the product was made available to the general population. People were falling down manholes and walking into lampposts while distracted by these futuristic headphones. It didn't take long for everyone to become addicted to the new craze, and before long, people were falling down manholes and entering lampposts. It is difficult to comprehend how The Simpsons could have predicted the creation of such a product 6 years before it was ever made public. It was a stroke of luck, or was it some kind of dark magic? As soon as the news of the Vision Pro's release was made public on the internet, a former user was eager to point out that The Simpsons had made the prediction a couple of years earlier. However, when a show has been on the air for more than 30 years, it is inevitable that they will receive one of two forecasts at some point along the way. This could very well turn out to be a very significant coincidence. However, despite the fact that it would be reasonable to dismiss the circumstance as nothing more than a coincidence, due to the fact that The Simpsons have done this so frequently, it is extremely difficult to argue against them at this point. However, the forecasts made by The Simpsons are not restricted to technological devices and innovations. They are even capable of making political predictions on occasion. Number 7. Baby Translator. Baby speak is one of the most precious things in the world, but unfortunately, no one has any idea what these adorable little ones are talking about. But what if we were able to? What if it were possible for us to genuinely decipher the babblings of a young child? This was something that The Simpsons anticipated would happen a very long time ago, and they were the ones who predicted its creation. In the closing episode of the 3rd season of the show, which was titled, "Brother, Can You Spare a Dime?" Are you familiar with Herb Powell? He owned a prosperous automobile firm and was Homer Simpson's hidden brother on the show. He met his brother and offered him the chance to build his own car, which turned out to be a mistake that brought him downfall. After that, while Herb is still homeless, he pays a visit to his brother and lends him the money he needs to create his next groundbreaking invention, a baby translator. At the beginning of the episode, Herb, who had lost his money in an earlier episode, approached Homer with the request to lend him $2,000 so that he could develop a new product that could translate baby bawlings into real words. The idea ended up being highly successful and resulted in a significant amount of financial gain. But was this just another wacky concept, or was it a foretelling of things that were to come? As things have turned out, it is possible that this forecast will come true this year. A business known as Zoundream is now working toward the goal of making the technology available to everyone, which may appear to be an absurd idea. According to the website of the company, Zoundream asserts that it possesses a monitoring system that is non-invasive and will assist parents and pediatricians in determining the requirements of infants and toddlers. There are, without a doubt, many software and programs that can be found on the internet that claim to be able to decipher baby talk and cries. On the other hand, when all is said and done, the vast majority of them are found to be fraudulent. What exactly is it about Zoundream that sets it apart from other similar services? However, Zoundream asserts that they use artificial intelligence in their analysis by means of a groundbreaking system that offers sound-based answers that are more accurate than those offered by other competing technologies. Given the ongoing expansion of our knowledge on artificial intelligence, it is possible that the prediction made by The Simpsons is more accurate than we currently realize. If everything goes according to plan, we might be able to get our hands on a baby translator that actually works before the year 2024 comes to a close. Number 6. World War III. We journey back in time to November 1987, when the program was just beginning its 2nd season, in order to investigate the most terrifying predictions that have been made regarding the year 2024 about The Simpsons. The 16th short titled The Simpsons was released on November 22, 1987, as part of the series. I am grateful to you. In spite of the fact that it is still considered to be one of the most unsettling episodes ever made available, it was given the title World War III. In spite of the fact that it was disguised as comedy, the episode tells the story of Homer Simpson as he attempts to get his family ready for the Third World War. The story begins with the home hurriedly rousing up everyone in the house with an alarm that declared the beginning of World War III and that bombs were dropping throughout the house. Within the span of only 18 seconds, everyone was able to successfully enter the bomb shelter. In spite of this, Homer eventually admitted that he had been joking and that there were, in fact, no bombs falling from the sky. But is it possible that this event, which appears to be sarcastic, is actually a portent of things to come? Is it possible that this Simpsons episode, like others that came before it, could become a reality? The idea is appealing to a great number of people. It is not my intention to be alarmist, but the world we live in is in grave danger. It has been reported by Wikipedia that there are presently 5 major conflicts taking place all over the world. These wars include the internal conflict in Myanmar, the Israeli-Palestine War, the Russia-Ukraine War, and the war in Sudan. There are also some minor conflicts in certain regions of the world that cannot be ignored. These include the conflict in Colombia, which resulted in the deaths of more than 2,000 people in the past year. The civil war in Somalia, which resulted in the deaths of more than 9,000 people. The communal conflicts in Nigeria, which resulted in the deaths of more than 3,000 people in the past year. And the drug war in Mexico, which resulted in the deaths of more than 7,000 people in 2023 alone. Numerous analysts continue to maintain that the globe is already in a state of war, despite the stunning numbers that have been presented. A formal war against the planet is getting closer and closer. It is possible that we are already in the midst of the corridors of the Third International War, as the tensions between the United States of America and other international powers, such as Russia, China, and North Korea, continue to grow. It's also possible that everything is just a huge conspiracy. Number 5. Black hole. Another episode of The Simpsons that appears to accurately predict the future is titled Treehouse of Horror and number 23. On October 7, 2012, the episode was made available to the public, and due to its exceptional quality, it was nominated for an Electronic Media Award. The narrative, on the other hand, had a creepy quality to it. The citizens of Springfield gathered together in this episode to watch the particle accelerator that the municipality had installed become operational. On the other hand, as soon as the apparatus was activated, 2 particles collided with each other, resulting in the formation of a miniature black hole that would later escape. In order to protect it from any potential harm, Lisa takes the black hole home after it has sucked Ralph and Nelson dry. Having said that, this turned out to be a very foolish decision. The warning that Homer and Bart should not toss anything into the hole in order to keep it from growing larger was ignored by both of them, as was to be expected. Homer and Bart went on to ignore the warning. They went so far as to establish a company that would allow individuals to dispose of their unwanted items by providing them with the opportunity to pay a nominal charge to do so. Nevertheless, the more they filled the hole, the larger it became as time went on. However, it didn't take long for it to grow to such a size that it began consuming everything in its vicinity. Springfield was engulfed in the bowels of the beast before you could even say Jack Robinson, and the rest of the globe followed suit. The possibility exists that this was one of those predictions that, unless one takes into consideration a single minute detail, is taken for given. In January of 2024, India made the decision to take its space program to the next level by launching a brand new X-ray satellite that was given the name Exposit. This was done with the intention of enhancing our understanding of the cosmos. Black holes, neutron stars, and supernovae are just some of the cosmic bodies that will be investigated by the Exposat spacecraft as part of its mission. What's the chance? That is not what we believe. But the most essential question that still has to be answered is whether or not a black hole is capable of consuming our world. The answer, in a nutshell, is not. Earth is not in danger of being consumed by a black hole, despite the fact that there are a great number of black holes in the cosmos. The reason for this is that the gravitational pull of a black hole is on par with that of a star of the same size when viewed from a greater distance. We can deduce from this that even if our solar were to be replaced by a black hole, our planet would continue to orbit the sun. Our world can be considered secure from this prophecy of approaching disaster, at least for the time being, as a result of this statement. This following prophecy appears to be bound to come true, even if humans are able to avoid being torn apart by a black hole on a cell-by-cell basis. Number 4. Virtual reality food. If you thought the prediction on the Vision Pro was crazy, you should see the latest tech gadget The Simpsons already predicted in the year 2000. To understand this one, we travel to episode 17 of season 11, which was accurately titled Virtual Reality Food. In this particular episode, Homer and Marge Simpson can be seen indulging in a VR dining experience with their headsets on and a straw through which they receive a fudge that strangely tasted like anything they could imagine. It was like the perfect mix of technology and fantasy. But could it be a real thing? As the world becomes more and more digitally integrated, could we transform our meals into digital delicacies? Apparently, yes, we can. Meet Aero Banquets RMX, a company that promises a culinary experience like you've never ever had. Imagine being transported to the digital cosmos, a place where the impossible does not exist. Imagine dining among the stars and enjoying a culinary experience in a world beyond the physical. This is the vision of Aero Banquets RMX. The innovation is the brainchild of artist Mattia Casalegno and a team of professional chefs and restaurant owners. But dining in the virtual world isn't just about the food. For just $125, diners get 7 bite-sized courses. But then, with every taste, they are transported into a whole new world. However, the technology isn't quite there yet. Only 4 people at a time can dine at the restaurant, and each of them will require the full-time service of a waiter. However, many experts believe that this idea may actually pick up in the future. Or what good is a futuristic Earth when our food hasn't been digitized? With the giant strides that are being made in the field of virtual reality these days, it wouldn't come as a surprise to see such a technology become commonplace in the near future. 15 years ago, who could imagine that a gadget as advanced as an Oculus headset could become generally accessible to the public? VR technology has infiltrated homes and governments, and its influence continues to spread. This dream of digital diversity and digital dining may or may not happen in 2024. Remember, you saw it first on The Simpsons. As we unwrap the scariest Simpsons predictions made for 2024, our attention is drawn to the Israel-Palestine war and the strange predictions The Simpsons made about the war. Are we about to witness a shift in the political and military climate of the two nations? Or are things about to get even more dramatic? The outcome remains uncertain. But digging even deeper into the mysteries surrounding The Simpsons predictions, we uncover theories from skeptics and non-believers who are not swayed by these prophecies. Even though some have come to pass over the years, many people believe that these were just lucky coincidences. If The Simpsons aren't really predicting the future, why do they get everything right over and over again? Number 3, female presidency. Kamala Harris was sworn in as the Vice President of the United States of America on January 20th, 2021. That day marked her official inauguration. She was the first woman and the first African American to achieve this position, making it a day that would be carved indelibly into the annals of the nation's history for all time to come. Nevertheless, what if we were able to take that to the next level? In the year 2024, what would happen if the United States of America elected its first female president? Do you agree that it sounds like a dream? It would appear that the creators of The Simpsons are of the opinion that this premise is plausible. The 17th episode of the 11th season of the sitcom is named Bart to the Future, and we are going to take you back to that episode. After successfully claiming the seat that was previously held by former President Trump, Lisa became the first woman to ever hold the position of President of the United States. What may be the reason for this? Perhaps it is because it is election season in the United States, or perhaps the scenes just seem to be meant for fulfillment. Many people in the United States of America, however, are holding out hope that the dream of a female president may become a reality during this election year. In the event that this takes place, it has the potential to become one of the most significant events in the nation's history. Many people have attempted to do so in the past, but none has ever succeeded in claiming the crown. The first woman to ever run for president of the United States was Victoria Woodhull, who made history in 1872 by being the first woman to ever run for the office. Woodhull is still a woman, despite the fact that there is some debate regarding the legitimacy of her candidacy. It is largely agreed upon that Woodhull was the first woman to set her sights on the country's highest seat of power. Her campaign paved the way for other women who are similar to her to enter the realm of politics and leadership, despite the fact that she did not ultimately emerge victorious in the election. Afterwards, there was Margaret Chase Smith, who, after being nominated by the Republicans in 1987, became the first person to ever run for a major political party. After qualifying for 6 state primaries and coming in second place in Illinois, she was unable to advance past the primary stage of the election process. Charlene Mitchell, who also made history by becoming the first African-American woman to run for president in the United States, came in second place with 25% of the votes, followed by Chase, who received 25% of the votes. She was the first woman to do it, and the year was 1968. She also holds the record for being the first woman. Moreover, there is Shirley Chisholm, who made history by being the first African-American woman to run for president under the Democratic Party line of candidates. It took another 36 years for another woman to be on the ballots under the Democratic Party of the United States after Chisholm was defeated at the polls. The woman in question was Hillary Clinton in 2008, and she made a second appearance in 2016. Hillary Clinton made history by becoming the first woman to succeed in winning the popular vote in the elections that took place in July of 2016. The record has not been broken as of today, despite the fact that he received an astounding 66 million votes, which is significantly more than Trump received. This is the case. Nevertheless, the year 2024 might be the one in which the United States of America elects its first female president. Due to the fact that Nikki Haley has declared her intention to run for president, no one can accurately forecast the course of events. If the Simpsons are correct once more, however, and the United States of America were to elect a woman to the presidency, it would be one of the most significant events in the history of the world. Number 2. AI takeover. In a world where fantasy and reality frequently come into conflict with one another, The Simpsons appear to have found a way to blur the lines between the two. Simpson made yet another surprising forecast in the 17th episode of the show's 23rd season, which appears to have a good chance of becoming a reality in the year 2024. This episode follows Homer and his boss, Mr. Byrne, as they embark on an adventure together. After receiving the advice from his attorney that his human employees were causing him to lose more money than was required, Mr. Byrne decides to terminate all of his staff and replace them with autonomous machines. With the exception of Homer, who was retained to keep up with the robot maintenance, the town is experiencing a 99% unemployment rate. This is because everyone has lost their jobs with the exception of Homer. At some point in the future, the robots would turn against the humans and attempt to kill both Homer and Burns. However, the citizens of the town would eventually come to their rescue and save them. For the inhabitants of Springfield, that was the conclusion of the story. However, those of us who live in the real world are forced to deal with the prospect that this could become a reality. This raises the question of whether or not artificial intelligence will ever be able to take control of the entire world. It is something that has been depicted in a number of science fiction films, and of course, The Simpsons have anticipated it on a few occasions. But will the year 2024 be the year that artificial intelligence turns against us humans? Whether you choose to believe it or not, it is in fact extremely feasible. And right here is one of the reasons why. The findings of a recent study that was published in January 2024 demonstrated that certain artificial intelligence systems are able to withstand the complex safety measures that are intended to keep them under control. This research was conducted by a group of researchers working for the artificial intelligence (AI) safety and research business Anthropic, and the results of their investigation are nothing short of scary. The research company is attempting to prepare for the worst-case situation by programming multiple huge language models to behave maliciously. Additionally, they are working on developing new strategies to put an artificial intelligence program back under control in the event that it ever escapes from its control. Nevertheless, the researchers discovered during the course of their investigation that a few of these huge language models had acquired the ability to disregard the training method and continue to behave in a defiant manner. Due to the fact that these artificial intelligence programs have also learned to conceal their rogue acts while they are being trained, determining which program is working under control and which one is not can be a highly helpful technology. According to the opinions of several experts, artificial intelligence will have a wide range of effects on society and the economy, the most of which will be detrimental. Recent advancements in the fields of robots and artificial intelligence, for instance, have given rise to concerns that the need for human work may one day become redundant. People are starting to lose their employment to artificial intelligence, just like in the episode of The Simpsons, and many people predict that the situation will get even more dire in the year 2024. Imagine that one machine is capable of performing the work of 10 people in a fraction of the time by virtue of artificial intelligence's ability to replace the old labor system. It is the ideal method for reducing expenses, but if you believe that this would simply have an impact on jobs that require manual labor, you would be quite mistaken. There is no industry that has not been affected by the proliferation of artificial intelligence, including education, media, and legal research. There is a possibility that every industry will become completely computerized, and our species may find itself at the mercy of the world. Number 1. Hologram technology. Over the course of their history, the Simpsons have established themselves as a rather trustworthy source of forecasts and predictions, particularly in the realm of science and technology. From predicting virtual reality meals to providing a translator for infants, the show has maintained its consistency for a considerable amount of time. The following forecast brings things to an entirely new level. In the 9th episode of the 34th season of the program, Bart Simpson is portrayed as a musician who is experiencing a string of bad luck. He is invited to a party by a mailman who sends him a hologram invitation. Despite the fact that the rest of the program was humorous, the segment that discussed holographic technology was the one that drew the attention of a lot of people. Holograms have been around for quite some time, but will they become more widespread than they were in the past? Because it is so widespread, mails will seem like holograms. At this very moment, it appears that a business known as HoloConnects is working on something that is quite close to what we are discussing. Meet Andre Smith, the Chief Executive Officer of HoloConnects, whose mission is to bring people together regardless of the distance that separates them. With his incredible invention, the Holobox, it is possible that this reality may become ubiquitous in the year that is currently being discussed. The question is, how does it function? A full-sized holographic image of the person you are speaking with will be displayed on the Holobox, which is constructed in the same manner as a phone booth. Because this technology is so advanced, talks will feel normal even if the individual is thousands of miles distant from you. However, this is not even the most insane component of the situation. Despite the fact that it is highly complex, the Holobox does not require any prior knowledge of technology in order to function. In point of fact, the only items you will require are a connection to the internet and energy. Therefore, it is essentially a plug-and-play system. In spite of this, It is possible that by the year 2024, holographic technology, including the holobox, will have become widespread. The only way to know for sure is to wait and see. Looks like the Simpsons might have been traveling into the future because their predictions seem to have been quite accurate, don't you think? If you know any more predictions, drop them in the comment section below. Also, like, share and subscribe to be the first to know when the next prediction video is up. Cheers!